right, welcome friends. Today is a little bit of a different vlog. So I'm at this kind of weirder angle than I normally am at, and I'm really excited to tell you about my new watercolor obsession. So let's get into it. So today I'm working on a piece for my mom for Mother's Day. So I thought, okay, why don't I just bring you along on the journey? I will be talking about how I got into watercolors, the watercolors I've done so far, some of them that I haven't given as gifts yet, stuff like that. So that's why I'm kind of at this angle, so you can see my watercolor palette. This is the current project I'm working on right now. This was our feral cat, Joy, that we lost last December. She was 16 when she passed, and it's gonna be really difficult to do this piece because she was an all black cat. So this is the photo that I'm going off of. I'll insert it here. So as you can see, it's pretty difficult to do because, again, she's all black. But the thing I love about all black cats is that when you look at their fur in the sun, it is a kaleidoscope of colors. It is super iridescent and beautiful. So that is what I'm going to try to be replicating today. And I don't know how well I'm gonna do. So fingers crossed for me. I practiced on my palette. So this is my palette piece. Actually, let me give a little bit of backstory before we get into this here. So the backstory is that a little more than a year ago, I found metallic watercolors. Let me show you this palette here. These are metallic watercolors, which are incredible. And I became immediately obsessed because I love everything metallic. I love metallic cars. I love metallic nail polish. I love like a good metallic anything. And so when I discovered this at the art store, I think we went for my dad's birthday, so it would have been about a year and a month since we went, and I found this palette here. Let me show you a close-up. Let me put the lid on so I don't lose all the pieces. I have done that once before, and let me tell you, it was not fun. I think I got everybody back where they were supposed to be, but I don't know for sure. So this is the palette. As you can see, it is by Soho Urban Artist, and I found this in the store, and I was like, I need it. I think it was like maybe $30, maybe 40. I don't know. It wasn't cheap. My dad was like, I don't think you need that. And I was like, no, you don't understand. I need this. I'm gonna use this. And actually, right before that, I should say that the reason we went to the store, one, my dad is like a really good artist himself with drawing and doing artsy craftsy things, but somebody had given me a kit, and this was my tester. This is on the back of my palette, but this is the tester for the kit. And I made 3 pieces because it came with this just normal watercolor palette, and then I made 3 pieces. I'll insert photos here. I gave one to the person who had given me the kit, I gave one to my dad and one to my mom. And I was like, oh, this watercolor thing is like fun. I don't see myself really being good at this because I've never seen myself as an artist. I've always seen myself as somebody who's creative, but never an artist. My grandma is super good at drawing. My dad is super good at drawing, and somehow that just skipped me. The genetics just felt like they skipped me because I am absolute trash at drawing. This is me taking a photo of Joy and running it through AI to let me like insert the colors and just paint. I was like, wow, this watercolor thing is fun, but not like super, like I'm not really good at it. And then I discovered these metallic watercolors and my world changed forever. And so my dad did let me buy the kit, and I went home and I started working on my cats. So this is where I keep all my watercolors. I have a piece of Ruby Core, I think is how you pronounce this poet's name. It is a signed piece. It's one of her poems on like a drawn piece that is on my wall at my mom's house. So I use this incredible box to keep all my watercolors in. So the first pieces I did were my cats. So this is Winkle, and what I did was I ran this through a filter and got kind of an artsy thing out of a photo of him that I uploaded, and then I watercolored, obviously you could see I watercolored his eyes and also his feet, and then the background, and I was just messing around. This is my favorite blue. I was messing around with it. This is one of my first pieces, and I was like, oh, that is so freaking cool. Then I did my son Nemo, and he got a kaleidoscope of colors here. Same like filter process. I think it's called Luna Pick. that I put it through online, and then I just messed with these colors and, you know, trying all the different background colors. Then I did Aurora. I did not finish Aurora's. Aurora's is not done. I did her tongue sticking out because the photo included her tongue sticking out, and then I just kind of did her shadow down here with my favorite red color. Since then, we've made signs for protests. You can see that was the hands off protest. We did ice protest. Even my cat doesn't like dirty ice, and I did cat and dirty ice in watercolor, and then we made this AI image of a cat freaking out against ice. And then we also made one for the No Kings protest, and so this is an AI image of just a random cat, no kings, and then I did orange and cats. The only acceptable orange-haired king is my cat. Those are some of the pieces I've done. The rest have been gifts. So I have given them as gifts. I'll insert some photos of the ones I've already given as gifts, but these take a while to do. I've also done cards. So that was super fun. For Easter, I made my mom, my grandma, and my dad Easter cards, and that was some of my favorite pieces. Oh my God, before I forget, the piece where I felt like, wow, I'm an artist was for my dad's birthday last year, but I only finished it this year. It was a beetle, and you've probably seen it on my social media if you follow me, but I did this beetle and I started blending the colors. Up until that point, I basically had been doing the colors separate, and I only then started blending the colors, and I was like, I feel like an artist. This is incredible. So I did that piece and I was like, game changer. After a year of having this palette, I only now started doing this. I love this new technique. So then for the cards that I made for Easter, I really love the rose that I made my grandma. I did a ton of blending on that one. I kind of went crazy with the blending, as you can see. And that was probably my second or first favorite piece after the beetle. Like, those two are definitely some of my favorite pieces now. I did a frog for my dad. He was not on board with the frog at first. I was like, I'm gonna do a frog. And he was like, okay. And then he thought that the frog looked very cartoony, and he ended up really loving the frog. The frog, the blending didn't go super well. The lips kind of look like he's wearing lipstick, but that's fine. And then for my mom, I made a bunny, which I really love the bunny just by itself. So then on the back, I did kind of layered, separate kind of stripes of, on here it's called interference, gold, mauve, purple, blue, green. So it's basically just a very light sheen of that color. So if you hit it right in the light, you can see it. It just looks so cool. So those have been some of my major pieces. I made another one for my dad for his birthday this year. He wanted like a rainbow bison with mountains in the back, and the mountains turned out so good, and I really love the rainbow. It just looks so beautiful on that bison as well. So I did that, and then another thing I did was Scrabble tiles. So I made this for my mom and basically just Scrabble tiled all the names of our cats and then her name and my name, and it turned out so good and it was so fun. And that has been like, oh my gosh, it's just so cool, like exploring different techniques, different styles, different ideas that I have. I'll insert anything else that I find in my photos that I've like forgotten that I made. But yeah, a lot of it has just been exploring different things and trying different techniques, and it's been really fun. So this cat is going to be something super different that I've not tried before. So these are my testers right here. She was a black cat, right? So I want to do this like black color, but then I want it to be iridescent-y. So this one here, I did a black base, and then I dry brush painted on top the other colors. That one's fine. I don't absolutely love it. This one is super dark, and like honestly, you like can't even see. I basically, for the middle one, I did like, I don't know what the technique is called, but you basically just make it wet with the black that I have, and then I, while it was still wet, inserted little droplets of blue, purple, green. I like it, but I made it way too dark, so I didn't like that technique for this cat. And then the last one I love the most, and that one was just dry brushing all the different colors and then like filling it in with black. I think that's the one I'm gonna do, is this one right here. You can see the colors really well, still like dark, because again, she's a black cat. And then I think what I'm gonna do at the very end, we'll see how this goes, is all these little, you know, details, go over it with a pen to to try to make the details stand out again. I don't know though, all I've done so far are her eyes and her nose as well. You can see her nose is black. I did try to do a little bit of pink, which you cannot even see from this far away. So anyway, we'll see how she turns out. I'm gonna keep updating you and you'll get to see. I usually take like progress photos as I go through, and then I'll show you at the end where I ended up and how the process went. So I'm gonna check back in when I'm done, or if I have any other thoughts or ideas as I go through it. So thanks for joining me today. Let's see how this cat turns out. I'm nervous. Okay, it is many hours later, I'm not gonna lie. It took me a while to work on this, probably 3-4 hours in total. Definitely more towards 4 if I bring in the conceptualization phase of editing the photo, like choosing what photo, editing what photo, and doctoring the photo up, including choosing what font. Oh my god, if I think about what font, then it's like 5. I can take a long time trying to choose what font to do her name in, but this is it. I am done. Let me do a close-up here so you can see. So it is obviously a very artsy photo. You know, that's not what she necessarily looks like exactly, but I think that it turned out really cool. I did a pink gold for her name. I went back over, you know, certain parts of her face, her whiskers, even her name with a pen, because a lot of it got kind of covered up. Accidentally nicked it with a pen here, and this is some watercolor that got out of control, but I think it's pretty cool. I was envisioning kind of a Dean Russo, if anybody knows that artist. I have some of his puzzles and stuff. I love his pieces, and a lot of them are cats, so I was kind of doing a little bit of a Dean Russo here. So yeah, I really hope my mom likes it for Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day, Mom. I think it turned out pretty cool. You never know where these things are gonna take you, you know? Like as you're kind of in the process of it, I decided to add in yellow, which originally I was only gonna do purple, green, and blue, but I like it, so that was fun. So anyway, thanks for coming along in this journey. I would love to hear if you have ever explored watercolors or metallic watercolors as well, because this is definitely my favorite medium. I actually feel like an artist, which is pretty cool because my whole life I've not really felt like an artist, and now I'm almost coming to believe that like you just need to find the right medium and everyone's an artist. So I think that that's pretty cool that there's so many different types of art out there. So yeah, thanks for coming along in this journey with me and watching me make this. It was super fun, and I really hope my mom likes it. And so yeah, thanks for being here, my friends. We just hit, by the way, 500 subscribers, which is insane. It might go back down at some point. I swear to God, YouTube will add them and then like not show you them for a while and then add them back just to like keep you excited and on your toes. So we might go back under 500, but incredibly exciting, and thank you for being here. And we have a community of 500 strong, and that's pretty gosh darn cool. So I did make cookies to celebrate. I'll insert a picture here of some peanut butter cookies I made. It was really fun to reach this milestone. I don't really focus on stats or numbers at all, but this was just a cool milestone to celebrate for sure. So thanks for being here, all 500 of you, and I will see you in the next video, my friends. Bye.